Coming in from Bengaluru, top businessman CJ Roy has died by suicide. He shot himself right in front of IT officials who were there to raid him. We're going to take you through details of that, what really happened, a little bit of background with our panelists on board. And also on our top story tonight is Sunetra Pawar is likely the Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, oath taking tomorrow after her husband Ajit Pawar died in a plane crash. And also today, we will take you through a Kashmiri boy who was assaulted all for being Muslim. Details on that after the headlines. Supreme Court in a landmark ruling has declared menstrual hygiene a fundamental right, mandates free sanitary pad distribution and separate toilets in schools. DGCA tells Delhi High Court weekly rest for pilots is non-negotiable. No airline exempt amid FTTL relaxation plea. Here we're looking at a blaze that really gripped Kolkata's Anandpur district. Wow Momo warehouse that caught fire. Death toll climbs now to 25. We're looking at over 25 of them still missing. So the total of nearly 44 people feared dead. In fact, we're awaiting a confirmed number. But remember, this blaze erupted on the 26th of January. So it's been a few days. There's unlikely any survivors. 2 people from Wow Momo have been arrested, 2 senior officers. Here you have Sonu Sood, who's urging the Prime Minister to make social media restricted to children below the age of 16. So he's asked and requested the government to decide at the earliest on this restriction, saying concerns on online safety and mental health risks are only growing. Karnataka government now also at the same time mulling over restrictions on social media. Karnataka government very likely to ban social media for children under the age of 16. And this might just be on the lines of Australia and Finland. Also you have in Tamil Nadu MK Stalin and his big Muslim card push right ahead of Tamil Nadu elections. Here you have MK Stalin who says if there's anywhere Muslims are absolutely safe, minorities are safe, and that is in Tamil Nadu. That's Stalin's word. Jananayagan, a film that's now been restricted until the CBFC gives a release. CBFC finally files a caveat in the Supreme Court ahead of the Jananayagan producer's appeal, says no orders shall be passed until the CBFC is heard on this case. All right, we're going to take you through our top story here, a very tragic story that's coming in from my city, Bengaluru. Someone I know, a person who I've interacted with, CJ Roy, Confident Group owner who's died by suicide. It's terribly tragic to hear what's happened there. I'm going to take you through those details here. We're looking at CJ Roy, who's allegedly died by suicide. This has really sent shockwaves through India's business community and raising a lot of questions about pressure at the top of corporate life. Dr. Roy, CJ Roy, the founder of chairperson of Confident Group, died by suicide right on Friday after shooting himself inside his corporate office in Ashoknagar near Richmond Circle in Bengaluru. He was rushed to Narayana Hospital in HSR layout, but doctors there declared him dead. In fact, police have confirmed the incident and say that the case has been registered. It's been claimed as suicide itself. The exact cause and circumstances are still under investigation. Sources say the incident comes amid ongoing and fresh income tax raids linked to the businessman. Now, what we know here, some initial information that we have on CJ Roy's death is that he was being questioned by the tax authorities. While he said he excused himself, the income tax authorities arrived in his house and office early this morning. By afternoon, he arrived at his office. That's where he was questioned by the officers for about an hour. This is a sequence of events. So just an hour later, he said he wanted to bring some documents from the other room. He moves out to the other room and he says he wants to bring some documents, and he closes the door. And that's when they heard a gunshot and found out that CJ Roy had shot himself on the chest. That's pretty much the sequence of events. They rushed him to Narayana Hospital in HSR layout, which is 10 kilometers away, and there they declared him dead. Still many questions being asked as to why he was taken so far when right in the 3-4 kilometer vicinity of where his office was located and where he had shot himself, there are hospitals like Malya, Philomena's, Vikram Hospital, multiple hospitals right in the vicinity. Why did they have to take CJ Roy so far? But nonetheless, investigation is on to what really happened. But mind you, CJ Roy was a man who was absolutely mentally fit. He was someone who really knew what he was doing. He was an influencer in his own right. He had nearly 1 million followers, over 1 million followers on his social media account, on his Instagram account. He had several projects that were ongoing. His real estate business was booming, not just in Karnataka and Kerala, but also in Dubai, in Sri Lanka and countries like this. So we're looking at a man who founded the Confident Group in 2005, built an empire, has nearly 160 projects running at this point, and really expanded it, and expanded not just in real estate but into hospitality, into education, into film production. He has produced multiple films, say with Mohanlal, with Tovino Thomas, with actress Bhavana. He was the main sponsor for Kannada Big Boss, so he was often seen with actor Sudeep. He's done multiple reality shows, sponsored reality shows in Kerala, so he's seen with actors there. So the flamboyancy with which he really lived his life and really splurged wherever he wanted to, literally pushed and marketed his brand at every place of South India. That's how entrepreneurial and enterprising the man was. He was also serving as the honorary consul of the Slovak Republic and was known in the business circles for his business model. So the Confident Group boasts of the zero debt model. So that was something that people admired. Whether he had debt running at this point, we are still unsure. What kind of violations he may have committed, we are still unsure. But max to max, even if it was the worst kind of violation, he would have got up to 6 years of jail term. Was it worth shooting himself? The police have registered a case of suicide here with this regard. And it's really shattering for people in the real estate circles and films and the film industry. Kannada films, how many Kannada films that he's produced, Malayalam films. So in total 8 films that he's backed. And what we hear of CJ Roy is that he's not just a man who's produced films himself, but if there is a producer who's struggling to hold up a film, he actually financially aids them. He was someone who was also into philanthropy. He helped producers who were struggling with their films. So helped actors who were struggling, always lifted them whenever they needed a helping hand. That was CJ Roy. He did not so far have a criminal record, nothing that was registered at least. We don't know what's to come in the future. Investigations would reveal something, we are not certain. But at least so far that he lived, he had a clean record, a man with dignity, always smiling, a lot of charm, great lifestyle, had a fleet of cars, 12 Rolls Royce, Bugatti. Remember Bugatti, you won't even get the car until your background is checked and verified. The connections that he had with UAE ministers, the UAE government, and of course the Karnataka state, the Kerala state, he hobnobbed in all the plush circles and was a man with a lot to give, a lot to offer, a lot of smile and charm. Like I said, his personality was unmissable. It's just sad, very tragic. Now, of course, his employees and the Confident Group members are now scrambling to what's to be done next. There are so many projects that are in the pipeline of Confident Group. They're going to have some meetings to see how to stabilize it, who's going to take over after him. Well, that's precisely what has happened today, and we've been tracking the story closely. Of course, this sheds a spotlight now on mental health, the pressure, particularly over people who handle such large conglomerates, big corporate offices, those at the helm, the kind of pressures they have to face. And when it comes to income tax raids, ED raids, it really corners a person to a point to take his life. We're not sure, but it's just sad to see what has happened today. And we pray that he rests in peace. That's all we could say. I've interacted with him personally. He was definitely a charming man, a very cheerful person. So it's just heartbreaking to know this happened. He has a family, he has 2 children, grown up, all very, they love the luxury life. And you cannot miss them at any party or any circle. That's the wife there. Baji joins us, who's been tracking the story for us on the ground. We also have Vivek Narayan, our reporter from Kerala. We have Sanjay Sahai, former ADGP of Karnataka. We have Vivek Menon, who's a prominent figure in Karnataka, advisor to the Chief Minister formerly, and a civic expert. Thanks very much, all of you, for joining us here today. I'll start with Baji, of course, who's our reporter on the ground. Baji, what more do we know on his on the post-mortem, on the investigation? Where's the body taken at this point? Where's the family? Are they in Bangalore? Because we know that he shuttles between Dubai and Bangalore.
Well, Nabila, I just had a conversation with his brother CJ Babu, and he has directly blamed the IT department for this entire tragedy that has befallen their family. He says that the pressure from the IT department was such that he has taken this step, it looks like, and he is completely surprised with the fact that his brother could do something like this, because he has always seen him come across as a very strong person, somebody who stands and faces problems head on. He is the confident in the confident group, is what he said. And now when he got to know about this news, he was not able to believe it. The family is still in Dubai. They're on their way. They'll be here by early morning, and at around 10 o'clock, the post-mortem has been scheduled. What we've also learned is the sequence of event has been that he had arrived to his office. His gunman followed him on top till the room, and he told the gunman to stay outside, and he shot himself. Now, what the investigators have been saying, that the CCTV system in the office had not been functioning for the last 3 months. There was a room in the office which had been shut down by the IT department for close to a month, and it was non-functional. So police have not got the complete access of the footage of the incident where it happened. They've also said that subsequently, for the last 1 month, the team from Kerala has been continuously raiding the office of CJ Roy, and they've been asking him for various documents with regards to tax evasion.
So you're saying, Baji, this has been going on for a while, that the IT raids were not a surprise today. It's been on for the last few weeks?
Absolutely, absolutely. That is what we've been told. And over the last 3 days, IT teams have been visiting his office time and again. One entire room had been shut by the office IT department. It was sealed by the IT department, is what we've learned so far. And today they opened that room and they were inspecting that room. We've also been told, and that is when he was also questioned for close to an hour at that point of time. And then when he went to another room, he told his gunman not to allow anyone inside. And then after a few minutes, close to 10-15 minutes, they heard a gunshot, and when they went inside, he was lying on a pool of blood. Now the entire investigation, the commissioner was there today at the spot, and now we'll have to wait and watch what comes out of it, because the director of the Confident Group has also filed an FIR to investigate what actually happened there. So he's gone and filed a complaint at the Sukna police station. We'll have to see what investigation comes out and tells us.
Could I bring in Mr. Sanjay Sahai on this? Mr. Sahai, what's really shocking to me here is that the man walks into another room, says, I'll just come back, I have some more documents in the other room, goes to the other room, shoots himself. I'm a little shocked to know that IT officers who've been raiding a man for a few weeks would allow him to get up and go wander into another room and shut himself and they wait outside, not actually checking the premises before actually raiding it. They've been questioning him for an hour. They should sanitize the place. They should check if there's any instrument that he could use to harm himself. How is none of that done?
Perfectly right. So sanitization and making the whole place sterile, and more so the person who is being subjected to interrogation, that he does not carry any firearm or anything related
Yeah.
or to that nature, which he can harm himself. But generally, the other part of the story is also there, that when people of this level and stature, they interact with the income tax department on tax evasion and variety of other issues. These people are also accustomed to that nature of interaction. And when this whole interrogation or questioning was going on, might be he would have claimed that some document he has missed out and he will just get it from the next room. Broadly, that was taken as a prima facie, and he was allowed to go. And that he was carrying a firearm or there was a firearm in his office, that might be unknown, because sterilizing the whole office, generally that does not happen. But when the subject is there, which means in this present case, Mr. Roy, so they see to it that they don't carry any firearms or any object by which he can harm himself. Also, while the interrogation is on, you get a fair idea as to whether the person is distraught or not. Mr. Roy has been into the thick of things for more than 2 decades, around 2 decades, and he has handled all sorts of pressures and issues. And these people also would be confident that it will be a matter of another interrogation, investigation, which will go on, and finally when the documentation and investigation comes to some level, and then they will take the findings further. Leaving aside his safety and keeping the place sterile and that part of the story, which is extremely important. What has been the interaction between the IT department people who were investigating the case, who were conducting the searches, last minute interaction before he left? So that also would be of critical value as to what it pinpoints. Was it something which literally shattered him to a level that he finally decided to take his life? There is no denying the fact that he has been facing this heat for quite some time, in the sense around a month or so. And with income tax, ED also moves in. And this is where we are. But the exact cause of his committing suicide would only be known once the investigation reaches some concrete conclusion, because there's absolutely nobody else who has been a part of it. So it is only the investigating officers who are there in that particular location, and whatever they interacted with or questioned him, and he moving to another room and shooting himself.
I was just basically trying to find out, because I stay in an area very close to where Roy stays. Our families have known him well. His offices are exactly in the area I stay. So I've interacted with him over the years on multiple occasions. In fact, as a cub reporter, junior reporter, I think Vivek might remember me. I've reported extensively on the streets of Bengaluru, and I have come across CJ Roy multiple times. He's invited me over to his office for coffee, and such a charming person that he is, and I would say he was helpful and cheerful, so much of life. He had so much to offer to anyone he would speak to, right? I do know for a fact that anyone would meet him would always go back with something in hand. CJ Roy would either help them, or he would promise to, back them on some project, or, he was a man with a helping nature. Apart from his luxuries and his, flamboyance, he also contributed as much as he could, right? So I really enjoyed having that conversation twice over that I visited his office. He would come to TV, he's been to our TV9 office as well. So, of course, he's a businessman with business interests, so typically would sponsor a lot of events and whatnot. So anyone in Bengaluru, any top guy in Bengaluru, in Kerala, in Dubai, knows CJ Roy. That's how influential he is. So the man could have gotten out of this. If this was, how bad could the problem be? So I was saying, Mr. Sahai, IT raid, if you are violating the IT rules, at max, I understand your most rigorous punishment is 6 to 7 years.
Primarily, you are into it.
Yeah, go on.
See, primarily when you are undercutting the tax, so that is one part of the story, which you can also term in a different way as tax evasion. So broadly, if that is the case, that is happening with large number of businessmen, large number of other people, professionals, even doctors and chartered accountants all across the country. So it is not something which is unheard of, and I think half of the Bollywood faces it day in and day out. And there would have been notices earlier also on CJ Roy, with a 20-year
He's
career
been,
in the nature
yes, he's been
of
raided in
business
the
he was.
past. He's been raided in the past as well. That's what Vaji tells us.
Yeah, so it is very, very intriguing. So that makes it very, very intriguing. Now, whether this PMLA, your ED part added to that, I've not been able to say at this present juncture. Because the PMLA Act, it brings it a completely different dimension, where your arrest and getting bail and all that, it goes on to a totally different plane. So the money laundering might be a critical point. But I don't think with the type of person you have been talking about, I don't have great knowledge of Mr. Roy. I don't feel that I've gone through so much of ups and downs and handled government and regulatory agencies and tax guy for 20 years. He would just break down in a manner as it did.
I don't know what could really trigger a man with so much access and resources. He could, ideally, that's where you want to get to, right? You want to get to a point where you have, such kind of contacts, resources and wealth that you can get out of any possible situation, of course, apart from murder. Any situation that you can get out of because of the clout you hold. But he chose this way out, and that's what's really left us flabbergasted. Vivek, have you had any interaction as a Bangalorean with Mr. Roy?
Yes.
Well, okay, which Vivek?
Okay, the Bangalore Vivek. Vivek from Kerala, I'll come to you. Just give me a moment.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, I've never had a chance to meet him, although I do a lot of work with most of the real estate developers over here in Bangalore. But, I've been an avid follower of his videos. He's on Instagram a lot. And in fact, not too long ago, I think it was about a week ago, I saw a video of him actually at the Gardenia. And I think he went to school right around there at St. Joseph's. And, he narrated how, he used to catch a bus from a different location because he was not the kind that always followed the crowd. And, I think he was an extremely cheerful person, like you just mentioned, Nabila, and someone who, actually had a lot of knowledge to impart to a lot of, youngsters out there and almost anyone. And I was an avid follower of his. In fact, I know one of his cousins very closely, but never quite have met him personally. But I think, overall, his philanthropic activities, his ever this thing, attitude to help people, all of that resonated with a lot of people. Now, coming to what has happened today, I think it's extremely tragic, and my condolences go out to his entire family, friends, and everyone else who has been impacted. And the first thing that came to mind actually was, Siddharth of Coffee Day. Who also took his life not too long ago because of the extreme pressure that they feel. And it's extremely lonely at the top, they say. And I think that is where, obviously these kind of raids that put so much of pressure on people who have made it up to the top, it's that one moment that can break you. And I think that probably is what has happened. Obviously he's had, from what he comes across as unquestionable integrity in terms of who he was and what he intended to do. And, sometimes people like that, when they're faced with some kind of a challenge to their reputation, they could succumb to it. And I think that is precisely what has happened to him. Now, on the same token, real estate is an area unfortunately, where there's a significant amount of pressure that falls on you from one side on the government, from obviously you're trying to deliver projects. And I think that's where the problem comes up. In the recent past, there have been a lot of developers in Bangalore who have been raided. And I think that is the undue pressure that really falls on you. And it's very unfortunate that today in a country like India, a thriving democracy, you are actually guilty until proven innocent. And that's the unfortunate part. Whereas it should be you're innocent until proven guilty. Yeah. And I think the onus comes on to you almost immediately, and the pressure starts falling on you. And this is very unfortunate in a country like India, especially, where we should be having a very strong judicial system and a judicial recourse. And today, the pressure that comes from IT, from ED, where assets are attached, your smear campaign starts almost immediately. And I think that probably is what has led to Mr. CJ Roy actually taking his own life. And you know, today, you know, the entire.
But none of that had happened yet. I don't know if it would have happened in the future, but none of that had happened yet. So he clearly feared that his image would come crumbling. He's a man with a million odd followers on his Instagram. He loved his cars. He loved his people. Like I said, he was so social. Would always be at all the big social events, and so much joy and laughter all the time. You know, a person who'd always joke and crack up and make people around him laugh. So it's just very sad to see what has happened here today. Lovely daughter and a son and wife. It's just very heartbreaking. I do want to play to our viewers his last address to his social media following. He wished people on Republic Day. Here's what he said. I'm slipping into a short break. I request our guests to stay with us. We'll be right back after.
Dear friends, good afternoon. Wish you all a very happy 77th Indian National Republic Day. This is a great day in each one of our lives. So wishing you and your family again a very, very happy Republic Day. Take care. Bye-bye.
रश्मि, हाँ? ये मैडम बड़े शहर से छोटे शहर बसने जा रही है, बताओ।
अंकल
इंडिया के छोटे छोटे शहरों में ही तो है बड़े बड़े अखाड़े।
नए नए दावपेच सीखेगी और फ्यूचर में मेडल जीतेगी।
और बेटा इनका फ्यूचर?
बड़े पापा, SBI लाइफ से इनका फ्यूचर सिक्योर है।
अभी तो इसकी जीत के इरादा पक्का है। करो पूरे अपने इरादे,
अपनों से किए सभी वादे।
SBI लाइफ अपने लिए,
अपनों के लिए।
रिश्तों को रंग दो, दुनिया को रंग दो।
बिरला ओपस पेंट्स।
फाइनली हमारा घर।
तुम्हारी जिद का नतीजा।
मैं नहीं होती तो तुम्हारा क्या होता?
इनकी जिद ने आज इन्हें दिया एक परमानेंट एड्रेस टाटा कैपिटल होम लोन्स के साथ।
All right. Let me go back to our panelists on this. In fact, to Vivek from Kerala. Vivek, we know that he had a lot of business interests in Kerala as well. If I can show images of him with Mohanlal and Toino Thomas and Bhavana, so many films that he's produced, and he's been a person who's also helped producers in trouble. So that's what I know. A little more that we know of CJ Roy, who ideally hails from Kerala.
Yes, Nabila, as you said, he's a person who has got, a kind of a lot of fan following in Kerala, especially his connections in Kerala and Dubai is huge. He's got a huge network, especially in the film industry. Now, remember, he's a native of Kochi and he has grown up in Bangalore. He has been a mechanical engineer and he worked as a planning manager at HP. And later, he has studied in Zurich. He has actually associated with around 5 movies. 3 of them were with Mohanlal, and there is one movie of Bhavana which is releasing later this year. Also, what I understand, from the sources whom I spoke to today evening after this tragic incident took place, is that as you were earlier saying, that he has been under pressure. Especially there has been multiple raids that's been conducted. Here back in Kerala, also at his offices, especially the Enforcement Directorate, a number of times. And also after that, the raids were conducted in Bangalore also. That's what I understand. He has been to Kerala 2 weeks back, and he has been here for 1 or 2 days, and after that he left. Also, remember, He's been in the industry in 2000. He started the group in 2005 along with 6 partners with an initial investment of 100 crore. The company, which began operations, its headquarters in Dubai. Later, it launched several real estate ventures in Kerala and Karnataka. Most of his businesses in Kerala was based out in Kochi. And also a few of them in Trivandrum, and later he has shifted it to Bangalore. Most of the time, he used to be in Bangalore, and as you said, he has a huge, followers, and also, he has started a lot of innovations in Bangalore's real estate spaces. Now, if you look at his innovations, the concept of four-sided ventilation in residential projects, and also the use of concrete roads within integrated townships. Now, these are the kind of innovations which he has done in some of his projects in Bangalore, as what I know. And but today's incident has actually shocked many of his friends, especially
absolutely.
The political and
Vivek, I do want to ask you, was he hands-on businessman? Would you know if he was a hands-on businessman? And you said he had partners. Are those partners still his partners in business?
Yes, indeed. They are still his partners in business. Most of them are in Kochi, and some of them are in Dubai. His office, one of his offices in Kochi, and his first headquarters, the where he started in 2005, that was in Dubai. And then he came to Kochi. He started 3 projects in Kochi, and after that he moved to Bangalore. And as you know, most of his activities, were based out in Bangalore. Sometimes he used to come to Kochi. His family, all of them are based out here. His son and daughter, they're all in Bangalore. But when I spoke to a few people over here, they said that the kind of raids that has been conducted at his offices, he was indeed facing a lot of pressure. But yet more details are yet to come as far as this incident is concerned. Like what actually transpired in the last few moments of this questioning, as why he had actually left that room. And gone to that room. I mean, this officers, and then why he had gone to that room. All those things has to be checked in detail. Only then that we get to know what exactly has transpired in this particular incident.
One thing for sure is I highly doubt he had any mental health issues, because he was such a man with such high spirits. All his videos you could see. I don't know if he was faking, and fake it until you make it. That's what they say, right? If he was faking it, but how far can you fake it? In every video, if you're sounding so happy, I don't know if there's an underlying condition, but probably wouldn't have been triggered if the IT raids did not happen. Because the videos that I'm seeing, he looks absolutely upbeat. I'll play another one out for you where he's selling his own apartment. That's how hands-on as an entrepreneur he was.
Good morning, friends. I want to show you something nice and surprising. This is really nice and surprising. I'm in Gunjau, and this is a plantation, lot of trees. And you'll ask me this, what is so different and surprising about this? This is in the 58th floor in Sofitel in Gunjau. They say Ganjau. And this has been grown on the top rooftop, such tall trees. I've seen in Dubai palm trees, but not such tall trees. So this also passes a nice message in our life that it does not depend where we grow. It depends on our attitude and aptitude to grow. These trees do not know they're on the rooftop, but they're growing happily. So,
okay, so I just basically wanted to put in place that the man was just so hands-on when it came to property selling. It wasn't his property. I just found out that that was a very unique property that he spotted in China, and he decided to tell his viewers about how different it is and what's unique. So he really was the face and the brand himself. Mr. Sahai, again to you. I just want to know, if there is an IT raid, what is the way out for a person? Now people are saying that, oh, he could have been pressured, he was pushed to the edge because of the raids, but left, right and center people are now facing IT raids, and raids are rightly to be well, I don't know if there are some motivated, but otherwise if raids do not happen, then there's no deterrence also, right? So I don't know. How do you look at it? If there is an IT raid, what is the real maximum punishment? Apart from, okay, let's leave ED aside. With just IT, I hear maximum imprisonment is 6 years, 6 to 7 years, or penalty, 50% of the fine of your.
Motivated or otherwise, when it is a tax-related issue, first is that the investigation itself goes on for a long time. And during the part of that investigation, when you go through the documents, you get enough and sufficient chance to prove your point. And a group like the Confident Group would be having a huge army of chartered accountants and corresponding lawyers would be handling these things for the last 15, 20 years and would be in a position to give replies to a variety of things. Added to that, you have the appellate tribunal. So whatever award is given. So one is the criminal part of it, other is just the evasion or that it is undercutting of the tax or you have not reported it. So this tax credit issue also comes. When the tax credit issue comes, the tax credit needs to be paid. That is nearly all. So there are ways and means in the common, normal, general understanding of things. I don't think it will reach to an extent where it would lead to something of this nature. And that is why again and again I am saying that the last moment of whatever transpired and in the backdrop that the ED raids were also happening. So now it were simultaneous raids. So IT part people know and people are literally comfortable with and they know how to go about it. It is a very well-known animal over decades. When it comes to ED, though we cannot put both the things separately, it cannot be in watertight compartments because it's facing the heat of ED also now. And with the ED's entry, I think the nature of heat which comes on you is of a totally different level. How he cracked, what was the tipping point, what was his mental health, and your understanding of my understanding of mental health is a very different issue. What we are primarily talking about, not the way you behave. But the point is the nature of stress which you are actually undergoing on a day-to-day basis. And there needs to be only one tipping point. I'm not a clinical psychologist by any stretch of imagination, but I've seen large number of suicides. So sometimes what happens that is a tipping point and the person says enough is enough. So it can be one of those situations. It need not necessarily mean that the man did not have a moral fiber or he has not handled regulatory agencies or that he will crack down under any circumstance. Might be felt that there is too much.
Yeah.
Motivated or otherwise is a different story.
Yeah.
And with regard to
and we'd never know, right? Mr. Sai, we'd never know. Now that he's gone, we never know.
Yeah.
And
broadly, we never know. But depends on the nature of investigation, we might get to know a couple of things.
But if the family is saying that he was harassed by the IT sleuths.
See, harassment is a very subjective sort of a thing because the IT sleuths and the ED sleuths, they are doing their work and there is absolutely no way to prove whether he is harassed or he is not harassed, and there is a huge amount of UN crime which is happening in this country. So motivated or otherwise is a different story. The issue remains is that if 50 people are committing the same tax evasion, whether the sleuths are going to everybody or not, that is the story.
Now, if the family fights this in court saying there was harassment indeed by the IT sleuths, that they grilled him, I don't know what kind of punishment is there, Vivek?
Me?
Yeah, either one. Vivek from Kerala.
Not sure about that because see, if that is the case, then there has to be a proof for that, and also, what kind of questions he faced. Because what I understand from my sources is that Nabila, that even in Kochi, the ED team had questioned him on various issues. But
has the raids been happening? How long have the raids been going on? Would you have an idea?
No, what I understand is that at least for the last 2 months, the raids have been going on, and the investigation agency, he has been under the radar of the investigation. That's what I was told today evening. But on what cases was it? On what the details of those cases are yet to be known. We are not known about that. But yes, he has been under the radar of the investigation. That's what I'm told.
No, so even Mr. Sahai, even the most little thing the IT sleuths can really scrutinize, right? And that could really get unbearable after a point. If it's been going on for 2 months, then it's pretty hectic.
But 2 months is not a long time. These IT cases continue for decades together also. And there is one component of your business and your team, which keeps taking care of the IT guys, whatever reports, whatever queries. Why I'm repeating over and over again that the ED coming into the picture, whether that was the accentuating factor or not, that we will not be able to tell.
So
but
if there
I
was a
think
money
ED
laundering
brings a
angle,
very
PMLA
different sort of
angle, that we've got to wait and watch, right?
Yes, it
I
brings a
hear you.
totally different. It can get into any trajectory whatsoever.
Yeah. No, but Vivek Menon, the question I was very surprised and I would want to ask is, this happened in Hosur Road, like literally right near Langford Road, Richmond Town, and they've taken him to Narayana Hospital in HSR. While you have Philomena's, Malya, Vikram Hospital, just in the vicinity, there are a couple of hospitals in the vicinity of 4 kilometers. They could have taken him there. I don't know, how would you view that?
Well, I mean, there's various ways of looking at it. Yes, I mean, from what I've heard, I think it was a gunshot to his chest. And maybe possibly they thought that, if it was indeed something related to the heart, then of course the Narayan Hridayalaya and others are the ones
but that's... If it was related to the heart, then there was Malya and there is Vikram Hospital.
There is, absolutely. And I think, yes, I completely agree with you. There are very many hospitals within, a earshot of, the offices itself in Langford Town, but I'm not sure necessarily why they took him to Narayana in this thing. But, one quick point that I'd like to make, Nabila, is, sometimes people come across as being extremely jovial and all of that. And it takes me back to Robin Williams, who obviously was an entertainer. He kept us all entertained. No one could have ever imagined that someone as jovial and as entertaining as him could have taken his own life. So yes, people do crack under certain circumstances, and probably this was just one of those occasions where yes, he did come across as being someone who obviously was extremely confident about himself, but there could have been a trigger that probably just took him to that end point. And I think the unfortunate part is that yes, there are today the safeguards that we have within our system are disappearing, and I think, for a lot of us who probably have more exposure than others, it is alarming, because today you can be pretty much framed under almost any one of these different acts that they have. These legislations that they have, and they use it to gay abandon today. PMLA and others that today come under the ambit of the government, and the excesses of the government are just something that you don't have any safeguard against. And I think that is extremely alarming today. A lot of especially entrepreneurs get subjected to it, and I think whether it's the IT or the ED. That today has been sent out, as a guard dog to go ahead and, probably even extort money from those who are wealthy today, is extremely alarming. And I think the safeguards that we have within the judiciary, those gates, those guardrails that we have are disappearing extremely quickly. And that is alarming.
No, so then that's tragic, and it's something that the government has to really keenly look into, and even the courts. The court should look into this, and the kind of harassment that could happen. And like you said, you're declared, you are
guilty,
accused before there is a conviction. So that's what happens, and then the media gets onto it. Then and even one report can tarnish your name. But well. Vaji, could you tell me a little more on the company and its status now? Confident Group has multiple projects that's currently underway. Do we know anything of the stability? Who's going to take over? What happens next for them?
Well, it's absolutely too early to come across the fact that who's going to take over right now. But from what I've gathered from his brother CJ Babu is that they are all right now trying to cope up with the tragedy that has befallen them, and the loss of his brother, and the entire family is distraught. So they will be coming back tomorrow by 10 o'clock to Bengaluru, and first it will be all about the cremation. That is when they will go about with who will be taking over the charge. Yes, they have close to 160 projects that have been going around in various countries, various cities, Kerala, Dubai, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. and it now remains to be seen how things move forward for them, because firstly, the director of the Confederate Group has now filed a complaint, and in that he wants an investigation on what actually transpired in that room with the IT officials. There in the phono with me, his brother has directly blamed a tax official, Krishna Prasad, saying that for the last 3 days he's been doing. He also told me that every day he's been speaking to him and he's been talking to him about these raids and what has been happening to him. And he, like Mr. I could not agree more with Mr. Vivek Menon today, because when he says that the glamour and glitter that's there on Instagram on your social life may not be what's happening in your real life. His brother also, when I asked him that he always came across as a flamboyant person, somebody so strong, how could he do something like this? He said, even we always believed that he was so strong, but he's done what he has done. And I also have no answer to give to what he has done. So clearly the family and the group is distorted.
So his offices have been sealed and his residence?
Absolutely. His office has been sealed. One of the rooms were already sealed by the IT department. But right now, because the investigation is going there, the Sukur team is there, the forensic team is there, Commissioner was there a few minutes ago. Everyone is there, and they are going through the CCTV footage. They're going through his WhatsApp. They're going through his Twitter. They're going through his Facebook, because he was socially available also. He was always there on social media. So they want to see if he has left any death note or suicide note, because when he went inside, there was a gap of a few minutes before he shot himself. So they want to understand what was happening there inside that room also. So all these things will now be pieced together by the police and the investigation team, and we'll get the clarity.
We will continue tracking this. As I end with Mr. Sahai, a final word, sir, on what action can be taken on an IT officer, because an FIR has been filed against the IT sleuths, saying that they harassed Roy.
See, in any case of search, seizure or case and tax-related issue, so the general presumption is that the IT authorities are not indulging in an area where a criminal case can be registered on them, and the criminal case also reaches its logical conclusion and ends in a charge sheet. It is one of its kind where we hear that a case has been filed against the IT officers and the case has already been registered. So it is one of the most uncommon of the things, and it is under, I see most of the laws, they protect you that under the color of office, which means while you are performing or your official duty, you are performing those tasks. And there is no personal vengeance between the tax official and the subject. So that is the legal presumption.
Who knows? That we don't know. He probably was pressurizing to take an extra buck.
No. See, that has to come on record when the investigators come. But this pressure.
How are they going to prove it, right? Yeah.
No, there can be any number of ways of proving it. It has been proven any number of times. So those issues are there. That the tax officials indulging in something of this nature has also been proven. There are people who have also been sent to the coals. All that thing has happened. But in the normal nature of a seizure and income tax investigation, the presumption is that it is being done under the color of it as a part of his official duty, and there is nothing.
And why do you think, sir, they took him all the way to Narayana HSR?
I am totally at a loss. I think Vivek was talking about it, or I think one of.
No, you raised your hand. I thought you may want to say something on that.
No, I'll just finish that heart-related thing. I don't think in that sort of a situation, any person thinks of the specialization of a particular hospital. You try and reach him to the healthcare institution is the closest. I have faced couple of situations in that area. I will not narrate any of those, and we always went to the closest hospital.
That's all I have. I mean, as much as I remember CJ Roy, he was a jovial person, full of laughter and always with a helping hand. Now, I don't know what's behind, what happened, whether there was any money laundering angle or any of that which we are unaware of. To the world, he had a clean record, and to that, he's left the world. We wish he rests in peace, and condolences going out to the family. We'll continue tracking this. I thank you very much for joining us here today. We slip into a short break. We'll be right back with all our top stories.
ನಮ್ಮ ಅರ್ನಿಂಗ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ಗೂ ಹೋಲಿಕೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸರಿಯಾದ ಸೇವಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅದು ಕಪಿಲ್ ಚಿಟ್ ಫಂಡ್ಸ್ ಇಂದಾನೇ ಸಾಧ್ಯ.
ನನ್ನ ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಕಪಿಲ್ ಚಿಟ್ಸ್.
ಕಪಿಲ್ ಚಿಟ್ಸ್, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕನಸಿನ ಸಾಕಾರ.
With Skoda Supercare and growing network across 180 plus cities, you never drive alone.
Skoda.
तेरी एक जिद और फैक्ट्री वर्कर्स सब डबल।
रिटायर हो जाऊं क्या?
अच्छा, प्रॉपर्टी के अगेंस्ट लोन का आइडिया किसका था? पर बुढ़ापा आ गया हो।
इनकी जिद ने कारोबार भी बढ़ाया और रोजगार भी। टाटा कैपिटल लोन अगेंस्ट प्रॉपर्टी के साथ।
Welcome back. Now, after the death of Maharashtra's Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar in a plane crash, his wife Sunetra Pawar is likely to be the next Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra. A major political development unfolding in Maharashtra following the tragic death of Ajit Pawar. Sunetra Pawar, his wife, is all set now to become the next Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, marking a crucial transition for the Nationalist Congress Party, the NCP, after Ajit Pawar's untimely death in a plane crash in Baramati. Party sources have said senior NCP leaders Praful Patel, Jagan Bhujbal and Sunil Thakre held key meetings with Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis at his Varsha residence to finalize Sunetra Pawar as the party's next leader, following which now Fadnavis has said that the BJP and his CM, basically the party and him being the CM, will stand strong with the NCP and will stand by whatever they decide, basically suggesting that if they want to have Sunetra take over as the deputy, they are welcoming it. She is expected to be sworn in as a Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra later at Mumbai's Raj Bhavan, with preparations already underway. In another significant move, Praful Patel is now likely to be appointed the national president of the NCP, signaling a major leadership reshuffle as the party recalibrates its future. These developments have also now revived speculations of a possible reunion between the two NCP factions, Ajit Pawar and his uncle Sharad Pawar factions. Close aides say that Ajit Pawar was in fact, when he was alive, thinking of unifying the party with his uncles. Now that he's passed away, that speculation is gaining momentum. Senior leaders believe reunification is key for Baramati and Maharashtra's political stability. Notably, both NCP factions had jointly contested recently the recent municipal polls in Pune and Pimpri Chinchwad, hinting that reconciliation efforts were already underway despite limited electoral success. Maharashtra now might just turn a new political page again. Now, Bengaluru's public transport debate has shifted from ideology to everyday reality. As the city expands beyond the outer ring road, concerns over bus availability and last mile connectivity have sparked a major face-off, now playing out on social media. The trigger was a post by IT industry veteran and former Infosys CFO TV Mohandas Pai, who alleged a shortage of buses and deteriorating services, urging that the government should follow greater private participation, basically allow private players to ply their private buses in Bengaluru city so that there's last mile connectivity. Mohandas Pai has accused Transport Minister Ramlinga Reddy of dogmatic approach, arguing that commuters need reliable transport regardless of who provides it. He's also tagged Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivkumar, escalating this political pitch. Ramlinga Reddy hit back, of course. Reddy defended the state transport and the Shakti scheme. He said that over 650 crore free bus trips for women have been provided, calling it India's largest mobility-led empowerment initiative, and accused Mohandas Pai of seeing public transport purely through a corporate lens. Reddy has also alleged that bus inductions were frozen during the BJP's tenure, but the debate widened further. BJP leader and urban mobility expert Ashwin Mahesh agreed that public transport is a right, but questioned the access, especially beyond outer ring road, where over 60% of Bengaluru's population lives, that there's no proper last mile connectivity. Well, Bengaluru does face a transport issue, but should we really have private buses on the road? A controversy that's brewing in Tamil Nadu, sparking huge outrage as sanitation workers in Tamil Nadu protest poor quality food that's being handed out to them by the state government. A move that they say is being used to avoid granting them long pending wage hike. Now, workers in Tirunelveli and Coimbatore have raised some serious concerns, reporting illness after consuming substandard food. In Coimbatore, food meant for sanitation staff was transported in garbage collection vehicles. A humiliation that's really intensified public anger. And you have those sanitation workers literally showing it, how bad the food looks and how it was transported in garbage loading vehicles. Workers insist that they are not asking for charity, only fair wages and respect for their critical public health work. Many of them have refused to accept the food, disregarding it in protest. Critiques, including opposition leader Annamalai, slamming the DMK government for using the food distribution as a publicity stunt. He said instead of rewarding workers for their essential services, the government is humiliating them with substandard meals. No publicity can replace dignity and fair pay, they say. DMK government has been accused of long delays in distribution and ignoring complaints about food quality, further fueling this. Well, sanitation workers now very distressed. We're going to see what DMK has to say with this regard. Kerala has made history by becoming the first state in India to offer completely free education for students up to undergraduate level. In the state budget 26-27, Finance Minister K.N. Balagopal has announced that arts and science degree courses in Kerala at government and aided colleges will now be free, a major expansion from the previous limit of class 12. Now, the budget also introduces accident insurance for students from classes 1 to 12, increasing funding for universities and boosts scholarships and fellowships, including for PhD scholars, with a total allocation there of 38.7 crores. A global school will be set up, emphasizing modern technology, vocational education and skill development, particularly in techno-economics and future technologies. The Kerala government has also plans to strengthen links between research institutions and local self-governments to enhance technical expertise in developmental projects. To ensure accommodation isn't a barrier to learning, a public hostel will also be launched. The education department there will receive 259 crores to strengthen university activities. Kerala budget there clearly prioritizing education, but certainly a bold step there to give students up to graduation free education. A brutal assault on an 18-year-old Kashmiri shawl seller, Tabish Ahmed, in Uttarakhand has really sparked nationwide outrage. The attack occurred in Vikas Nagar near Dehradun after Tabish identified himself as Muslim from Kashmir. His cousin also suffered some minor injuries. He was brutally thrashed along with his relative. And the reason being, all because he identified himself as Muslim. Tabish suffered a fractured left arm, serious head injuries. He was first treated at a local hospital before being referred to Doon Hospital. Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister spoke to Uttarakhand CM Pushkar Singh Dhami as well, urging strict action against those perpetrators. Dhami has assured an FIR will be filed, strict action will be taken. Jammu and Kashmir Students Association has confirmed FIR filed for grievous hurt and insult. They've written to the Home Minister on this harassment on Kashmiri students. And this of course comes in time when we're looking at attacks on Kashmiri students across different parts of India. Congress leader Pawan Khera has also said Kashmiri artisans are celebrated in India but are denied any safety and dignity. Iltija Mufti also calling this attack part of a worrying trend of violence against Kashmiri traders. This follows a December attack on a shawl seller, Bilal Ahmed, in Udham Singh Nagar, raising serious concerns over Kashmiri traders' safety in the region. And this must end at the earliest. The poor boy, young boy who was just selling shawls from Kashmir, was assaulted because of his religion. Well, thanks very much for tuning in. Do have a great weekend.
कुछ भी खा नहीं पा रहा हूँ, बहुत अपसेट हूँ। Take a date, not bites. No added sugar, प्रिजर्वेटिव के बिना। डेट्स, बादाम, पिस्ता, काजू और शहद से तैयार किया गया लायन डेट्स नट बाइट्स। Lion Date Nut Bites.
Taxes, jobs, housing, electric vehicles, defense. News 9 decodes the numbers behind the noise. You define India's growth story. We decode what's in it for you. Budget 2026. No noise, no confusion. A budget for a bulletproof Bharat.
तुम डेस्टिनेशन वेडिंग के लिए बजट रोते थे, पर पिक्स कितनी अच्छी आई हैं।
बहुत क्यूट लग रही हो।
ऑब्वियो, अपने दम पे शादी करने का ग्लो।
इनकी जिद ने किया डेस्टिनेशन वेडिंग का सपना सच अपने दम पर, टाटा कैपिटल पर्सनल लोन्स के साथ।
This isn't a trail of peace. This is pressure overload. A hill built for 1,000, forced to carry lakhs.
Instead of lightening the footprint, you have allowed people to actually get into every nook and corner of the Himalayas.
Careless travel, choking hills. If we don't change now, there won't be much left to enjoy.
We need to follow the Bhutan model, regulate people who can access hills.
News 9 presents Heal the Hills, continuous coverage.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9, English news as it should be.
NCP roots for wife Sunetra Pawar to replace Ajit Pawar as the Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Party Chief Sunetra Pawar likely to take oath as Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister. Key NCP MLAs to meet tomorrow at 2 p.m. We're tracking the story real close. Stay tuned. Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis assures complete support to the Pawar Parivar, says we stand by NCP's decision on the Deputy Chief Minister's post. Prime Minister Modi speaks with Venezuela's acting president Delcy Rodriguez, agrees to deepen bilateral ties and commits to boosting India-Venezuela relations. Two WOW Momo staff have been arrested, sent to 6-day police custody after Kolkata warehouse fire. The death toll reaches 25, at least 20 still missing. Confident Group Chairman CJ Roy dies by suicide in Bengaluru. Real estate tycoon allegedly shot himself in the chest. All of this days after income tax raids